Shalom, Israel. This is gonna be part 3 of the Christ died and did away with the dietary laws. I think I'm gonna just probably make my longest video because I'm just cramp everything else I got in here right into the end. So with that being said, we're gonna jump right into it. Go to St. Matthew chapter 7, verse 14. Right? And it reads, "And when he had called all the people unto him, he said unto them, Hearken unto me every one of you, and understand. There is nothing from without a man that entering into him can defile him. But the things, which come out of him, those are they that defile the man. If any man have ears, let him hear me. If anyone can understand, let him understand. And when he was entered into the house of the people, his disciples asked him concerning the parable." Because remember, Christ spoke in parables. It's like the Bible was written in parables, Christ spoke in parables. Okay? "And he said unto them, Are ye so without understanding also? Do ye not perceive that whatsoever thing from without entered into the man, it cannot defile him? Because it entered not into his heart, but into the belly, and goeth out into the draught, purging all meats. And he said, That which commandeth out of the man, that defileth the man. For from within, out of the heart of man, proceed evil thoughts, adulterers, fornications, murderers, thefts, conveniences, wickedness, deceits, so on and so forth." Right? So they'll take this verse right here and say, see, even Christ said, what comes out of man, it doesn't defile him. So it's not about the laws that the Father gave to Moses anymore, because that's done away with now. It can't defile you anymore. Now you gotta do is pray over it and it's good. This is what they tell you, correct? But keep in mind, first of all, remember the Peter's dream. Peter's dream is after Christ has said this. Keep in mind, Peter was one of the people there when Christ was saying this. So Peter would have understood the Father something kill and eat, because Christ would have already told him that. Correct? On top of that, didn't Paul say the law is holy and the commandments holy and just and good? Didn't the Father say that his laws are perfect? Okay, so why would he get rid of something perfect? Why would Paul tell you that the laws and the commandments are holy and just and good? He didn't ever say that was bad. Okay, so this is all things you got to think about as you read this to say, okay, so now the what they like to call the Mosaic law is done away with. Now we can eat whatever we want to eat. But was that what Christ is really saying? Like I said, first of all, Peter would have known that if that was what Christ said. But let's prove Christ was not. They ain't had nothing to do with that whatsoever. Eat whatever you want to eat. Now we're gonna go to St. Matthew chapter 15, verse 1. Right, and it says, "Why do thy disciples transgress the tradition of the elders? For they wash not their hands when they eat bread." Now, this you're going to find out. This is what it all boils down to: is them not washing Christ's disciples. Peter, John, and all them, James, and all. They didn't wash. They weren't washing their hands before they ate, and there was a cuss for them to do it because they said it defiled you if you didn't wash your hands for eating. So this is basically what it's all about, but I'm going to prove it. And Christ says, "But he answered and said unto them, Why do ye also transgress the commandment of the Most High by your traditions?" Now, first of all, I got to bring it into today. You guys always transgress the Father's commandments by your traditions. He told you don't conform to the way that you keep all their holidays, right? Not only keep your holidays, he told you don't eat unclean food, but you always have some kind of unclean food on the holidays that you eat, preferably a ham. Correct? So you transgress the Father's laws to keep your commandments. You forget about the Sabbath day to keep Sunday. Right? You just transgress all the Father's laws to keep your own to keep your own traditions, man. But so we're going to jump from there because you can keep reading down when you get a chance to. But we're going to, because I got to get straight to the points. We're going to jump from there to Matthew 15 and 17. See what it says. This is Christ speaking. Once again, he said, "Do not ye yet understand that whatsoever entereth in at the mouth goeth into the belly, and is cast out into draught? But those things which proceed out of the mouth come forth from the heart, and they defile the man. For out of the heart proceed evil thoughts." Maybe you heard this before: murderers, adulterers, fornications, thefts, false witness, and blasphemies, right? And they can even take that also and just be like, "Oh, well, look, man, like I said, man, this is what goes out. That's defiles you. Eating pork don't do nothing to you, right?" But this is what Christ was talking about. "These are things which defileth a man, but to eat with unwashing hands defileth not a man." It's simple, people. That's all Christ was talking about, because they kept putting those man laws up on them, acting like they're the Most High's laws. Okay, you tell these people that, oh man, you're defiling your body now because you didn't wash your hands before you ate. And Christ's like, man, that ain't got nothing to do with it. Okay, because whatever they finna eat right now, excuse me, it's gonna come out of their body and to wherever it is they was pooping at. You know what I'm saying? Or or peeing at, right? And that didn't defile you. But Christ was not saying, okay, now eat pork or whatever you want to eat now because, it don't matter. That's what your church says. Your church not going to give you meaning to these scriptures. They're going to tell you that and say, okay, see, look, it's not what's going inside your body that defiles you, right? It's what comes out, because what comes out is adulterous and all that. But like I said, though, they got to give you meaning, man, and that's what your churches fail to do, man. But these are your religious leaders that you trust and you believe in, right? You trust them with your soul, right? Which I wouldn't trust them. I don't even trust them with my money. But from there we're going to Romans chapter 14, verse 14. Crazy, man. They be tricking y'all, man. A lot of y'all still ain't gonna go with some of y'all heads, man. Because the Most High ain't dealing with you, so you're not gonna get His word to really truly understand it anyway. But like I said, too, Peter would have understood that saying, if that's what Christ was saying. Remember, Peter was at the point in time. But anyways, we're going to Romans 14 and 14, and it says, I know and am persuaded by the Lord Yahushua that there is nothing unclean of itself, but to him that esteemeth anything to be unclean, to him it is unclean. They'll even use this verse to say, if you believe pork is unclean, then it's unclean to you. But see, I believe it's not unclean, so it's not unclean to me. Is that what Paul was talking about, man? Let's go to 1 Corinthians 3 and 4 so we can get some meaning to this, man. Because, they crafty, man. I tell you, the Christian church, man, I used to believe this stuff until I fell into the truth. Man, I used to believe all that nonsense, man. But now I understand. No, 1 Corinthians 8 and 4, excuse me. But I used to believe all that stuff, man. Now I understand what these scriptures are talking about. Now I understand how to break them down so you can understand what they're talking about, right? And it reads, as concerning therefore the eating of those things that are offered and sacrificed unto idols. First of all, that's what it had to do with right there. That's what Paul was talking about. This stuff being sacrificed on the idols. Okay? Because if you'll sacrifice, like example, you do your Thanksgiving dinner right now. I'm not going to eat your pork now because I understand it's unclean. It has never been sanctified through the word of the Most High. But like your turkey or your dressing thing you got, when you go to pray over it, let's say I might not want to eat it because you're sacrificing onto idols, right? Because you're not sacrificing the Most High. I'm gonna go to the scripture that tells you that also, because he don't deal with those feast days. He hates your feast days. Matter of fact, he hates your feast days, right? So he's not dealing with it. So if I feel like, okay, man, they sacrifice it on the idol, man, I'm not gonna eat it, right? And I feel like it was the food now was defiled now, then it would be defiled onto me. It would be unclean unto me, or defiled unto me, right? But let's keep going. It says, we know that an idol is nothing in the world, and there is none other but God but one. For though there be that are called gods, whether in heaven or in earth, as there be gods many and lords many, but to us there is but one God, the Father, of whom all are all things, and we in him, and our Lord Jesus Christ, Mashiach Yahushua, by whom are all things, and we by him. Howbeit there is not every man that has this knowledge, right? For some with conscience of the idol unto this hour eat it as the thing offered unto an idol. So some people eat it as it's offered unto an idol, right? And their conscience being weak is defiled. So your conscience being weak because you eat it as unto an idol, you're not defiled. You just defiled your body. Excuse me. But meat cometh us not to the Most High, for neither if we eat are we the better, neither if we eat not are we the worse. But take heed, lest by any means this liberty of yours becomes a stumbling block to them that are weak. Because it is to become a stumbling block, man. Especially back in those days. For if any man see thee which has knowledge sit at meat in the idol's temple, shall not the conscience of him which is weak be emboldened to eat those things which are offered to idols? And through the knowledge shall the weak brother perish, for whom Christ died? But when ye sin so against the brethren, and with their weak conscience ye sin against Christ. Okay? Wherefore, if meat make my brother to offend, I will eat no flesh while the world standeth, lest I make my brother to offend. And that's what it's talking about. And you wouldn't eat it because you wouldn't want to offend your brother that's in the truth, that understands the truth. Okay, like if I had another brother that's in the truth, and we just have to pop up at my family house and doing Thanksgiving, though we don't celebrate it. Well, I don't celebrate it, my family does. And we went over to one of my family members' house, whatever, and they was eating. I said, man, I don't care. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving anyways, man. I'm finna eat this food. And my brother's like, nah, I don't really want to mess with it because I don't want to deal with their feast days at all. I feel like I'll be defiled if I eat that food. I'm not gonna eat it then. I'll probably say something like, well, shoot, let's check from over here. We go get something to eat somewhere else. We go, whatever. Right? That's basically all Paul's saying, man. On top of that, a lot of people used to also eat. You had vegetarians or what they call vegans back in the day also that wouldn't even eat meat, and people used to try to talk about them like, oh man, why you don't eat the meat and everything like that. And it's just a lot of confusion going on. But like I said, man, these scripts are pretty point blank and simple. But what happens is, your pastor's not gonna give you this understanding, man. They gonna just play with your mind and lead you away from the Most High and tell you, man, now you can do whatever you want to do now because Christ came and died, right? Making his death in vain. And we're going from there to James 2:10. All right, because we're going to give you another one that they love to use to make the law seem like it's bad, right? They say, for whosoever shall keep the whole law and yet offend in one point is guilty of all. Close your Bibles. Don't keep the law. Because if you one of the people like Damaris over there and you say you want to keep the whole law, man, right? And you break one, if he don't got it, if he don't got fringes on his clothes, or he gets an edge up or something, man, he done broke the whole law. Is that really what it's talking about? Man, y'all be taking stuff way out of context, man. Everything is way out of context. You Christian church, man, y'all I don't know what's wrong with you, man. Y'all just want to do whatever the heck you want to do and make it seem like if anybody keeps the law, that they're a bad person, not going to get to the kingdom. Now, let's go back and read it again. For whosoever shall keep the whole law and yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all. For he that saith, do not commit adultery, said also, do not kill. Now, first of all, you see how he said the law and he said adultery and kill? Because what y'all don't understand is laws and commandments go hand in hand. Commandments are laws. The laws are commandments. Okay? Why he didn't say he who pork with her? He said he who commits adultery said also do not kill. So does that mean I should say, hey, man, I'm not going to keep with him. I'm just going to start killing people, so I'm going to make sure I don't keep all the laws, right? Wicked, man. Now, if thou commit no adultery, so you don't commit no adultery, right? Yet if thou kill, thou art become a transgressor of the law. So all James is telling you right there is, it wouldn't matter what you did, man. If I commit adultery or I still broke the law. Now, and that's another topic I'm going to. Not all the law is every commandment the same commandment. Because they'll take that also and say, oh, it's every commandment's the same the commandment now. You get judged the exact same no matter what you're doing. That's even a lie. But that's all the same, man. But they try to say if you keep the whole law, then you're basically finished, bro. Because if you break one thing in it, like let's say I keep the law, and let's say I decide, okay, I'm just gonna just shave off my beard, not for job wise. I'm just gonna just shave it off because I like to look younger, right? That means I done killed some. I done been committed for murder, adultery, man, fornication, man. I done worship false gods, man. I done broke the whole dietary law, man. I ain't keeping no hold of this because those are laws also, man. I done just broke everything. Get out of here, Christian church, man. Y'all full of lies, man. Y'all full of lies. Now I'm surprised your congregation don't see it yet. You know what I'm saying? Y'all full of freaking lies, man. Y'all take these verses and y'all put them off on people because you don't want to keep no law. So you tell them, hey, man, you don't need to keep none either. But you learning it from people who was never given the law, right? It's time for y'all to wake up, man. So like I said, it ain't got nothing to do with that. Look at it, and I got some type of, look at the two laws it decided that it was going to pull up too. Adultery and murder. See, I didn't even know those were laws. So if the laws was, and another thing too, because remember, in 1 John 3 and 4 it says, he who transgressive, he who commits sin, transgressive also the law, for sin is transgressing the law. The law's done away with, that means sin's done away with. So what are you repenting from? You have no more sin because the law's done away with. Simple-minded, man. Y'all be simple. Quit being, like the Bible says, how long will ye be in simplicity, you simple ones? How long? You being simple, man. Very simple. From never going to Ecclesiastes 33 and 17. Just being simple, man. Ecclesiastes 33 and 15. Because y'all just sit there and, man, I gotta shake my head. Because it's like, where do y'all get this stuff from? Like, how do you even believe? How does your pastor go up in front of the church and even believe what he's saying? Oh, excuse me, it's actually in Ecclesiastes, because it's inside the Apocrypha. My bad about that, people. I'm just really trying to keep this going real quickly, cause I'm trying to make sure I don't spend too much time, so I can still edify you though. Oh, I had to bring this out again, man. A sinful man will not be approved, but find an excuse according to his will. Exactly what your pastor pork chop and pastor get rich quick is doing, man. Because they gonna keep you in bondage while they getting paid, and they gonna make this their kingdom, but they ain't getting no kingdom after this. John 5:46, right? It's crazy, man. And like I said, these people that you trust, man, you trust your soul with these people, man. But you won't trust me because I didn't go to a theology school and I don't have on a three-piece suit sitting in front of you talking about hallelujah, Jesus loves everybody. I'm actually coming out of the Bible. A lot of people don't like that, man. They don't want to hear nobody come straight out of the Bible. But it says, and this is Christ speaking, it says, for have ye believed Moses, ye would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if ye believe not his writings, how shall you believe my words? Of course, the pastor read that and say, oh yeah, just because Moses wrote them. So we believe Moses wrote us. And we believe the Most High gave Moses law, such commandments, but they're not done away with. Was that what Christ was really saying? Because he said, but if ye believe not his writings. What was Moses mostly writing about? He was writing about our Savior coming, which is Hamashiach Yahushua, right? So we be adopted back in and be forgiven for our sins. We no longer have to do the sacrificial law anymore. Period, which is sacrifice animals and the eye for an eye. You know, shoot you kill, you get killed. You're homosexual, you put to death. You know, all type of things. You know, you slept with someone else's wife or husband, man. Both y'all was put to death. You know what I'm saying? That's what Moses teaching. Not only was teaching, that was also what he teaching. The law. That's why they call the first 5 books of the Bible the Torah. Which, if you look it up, it means nothing more but law. Torah means law in Hebrew. Okay, so that's basically what its own thing is talking about, man. Book of the laws. That's what Moses basically teaching. That's what he's basically talking about. So if you didn't believe his writings, means if you didn't believe that you shouldn't be a homosexual, right? If you didn't believe that you shouldn't commit adultery or murder, that you shouldn't eat pork and unclean food and stuff like that, then how in the world could you believe what Christ was saying? Because you got to keep in mind, what was Christ teaching? Now, we understand there was a New Testament out when Christ was walking the earth. We understand that Christ came to do what the Father told him to do, which was what? Bring his people back, teach these laws, man, teach the faith, right? See, and on top of that, Christ magnified the law. Because when Moses was teaching, he was teaching, don't commit adultery, don't murder. But what the Christ said, if you look at a woman in lustful way, that's adultery. If you hate your brother in your heart, you have committed murder. Moses wasn't teaching that. Christ came and magnified it. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, you people need to stop, man. Y'all don't understand nothing about Yahushua. You don't know him because you don't love him because you're not keeping his commandments. Right? So quit saying you love him because he's not hearing that. And I can prove that in the Bible. I already proved it before. There's only one way to love Yahushua. There's only one way to love the Most High, and that's keeping the commandments. He didn't say love me by showing how many times you go to church like the pastor tell you, how much money you tithe or how much you say you love me. No, love is an action. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, you ain't got to, like, in a human form, you ain't got to tell nobody I actually love you if you're showing them I love you. You don't necessarily say, oh, how shall I love you? No, but we do it, I do it. But you don't have to do it because I'm showing that love. So when I do say it, it all adds up together. So you're saying you love, but you're showing no love. You saying forget your laws, all that, man. I'm just going to just trust in you and just say, hey, which you are supposed to trust in the Lord. But you're supposed to keep his commandments also, man. Just like I said, if you love me, you'll keep my commandments, man. And we're going from there to Malachi chapter 2, verse 7. Malachi 2 and 7. And it says, for the priest's lips should keep knowledge, and they should seek the law at his mouth, for he is the messenger of the Lord of hosts. Your priest is supposed to keep knowledge. You're supposed to have knowledge. Knowledge like what I'm speaking to you right now. You're supposed to seek the law at your mouth. Means you're supposed to be talking about the law, keeping the law, telling people what's in the law, telling them what they need to be keeping. Right? As far as what we can, because you're supposed to keep it, you're supposed to seek to keep all of it. Now, the Father, I'm saying I will keep every single last thing of the law. But you're supposed to seek to keep everything you can keep it, man. Like I can have my beard, I keep it, man. I can wear my fringes, man, I keep it. You understand what I'm saying? I do that type of stuff, man. I don't eat pork and all that stuff. I try to keep my holy days, let the holidays go with. And I just found out Mother's Day is wicked awesome. I'm going to go into that, man. I didn't even know that at the point in time. I just thought Mother's Day was off anyways because they programmed us to, I don't know, our mothers and our fathers on one day of a week. But I know there's a false God that comes behind that also, man. Y'all need to stop doing that. You know what I'm saying? But from there, we're going to Jeremiah 23 and 21. All right, Book of Jeremiah 23, verse 21. Okay, and it reads, I have not sent these prophets. And the prophets are someone who prophesies like a pastor, correct? Yet they ran. I have not spoken to them, yet they prophesied. Why the Most High like to say he ain't spoke to your pastors? But yet they always prophesying. They always sit them in front of that church. And how do you know he ain't spoke to them? Because like he said, man, if he spoke to your pastor, he would be seeking the law out of his mouth. And he would keep knowledge. Not only would he be doing that, would the Christ tell you what would happen? You know what I'm saying? Because he chose them. And they're out of this world now. People going to hate you, man. Why? You know what I'm saying? That's how you can kind of tell when people, when people like what you're saying, you're not really, you're of the world, because like I said, the world likes its own. But if people don't like what you're saying, that means you're not of the world, man. You've probably really been ordained. You understand what I'm saying? Just keeping it 100, man. People don't like laws. People don't like to be told what to do. You know what's funny too? You guys keep man laws more than you keep the most. Actually, you don't really keep the Most High's laws, but you sure do keep man. Man, a lot of you Christians out there, man, y'all won't even run a red light. If you sitting there at nighttime and the light ain't changing and you on the street by yourself, you ain't running around. A lot of you, y'all see the speed limit say 45, you gonna go exactly 45. You gonna make sure you don't go over. You make you ain't going 55. You obey man laws, but you afraid of the police money. You're afraid of the Most High, man. And when he comes back, if you do not repent and come back, man, it's going to put you to death, man. But 2/3 of our people gotta be put to death anyway. But Jeremiah 3:15, it says, and I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. I've been giving people a lot of knowledge that they've never even known about. And I'm not giving you the knowledge, man. I'm giving you understanding. I'm bringing out scriptures, but I'm giving you understanding. I'm not just bringing out scriptures. So, yeah, this is what it means. John 3:16, God so loved the world, and whoever. I'm giving you the actual understandings of it. Oh, look. This right here says, look, man, I can eat whatever I eat because not go some bite at the Father when it comes out. I'm giving you understanding of what all that's talking about, man. You understand what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm not saying it in no way to say I'm better than anybody else. I don't, you know, if you really know me, even still, you understand. I don't feel like that. I just understand this Bible. I understand this book. And since I understand it, I'm gonna give it to other people so maybe they can understand it. Because I don't want to suffer my brother to sin because I don't hate you. That's what hate is in the Bible. Suffer your brother to sin. So when you sin over, you see your brother being a homosexual, whatever, and you don't at least try to correct him or to say something to him, you're suffering the sin. When you tell people, oh man, go and eat this pork and all that, you're suffering the sin. That means you hate them. But if you love them, you're going to teach them the commandments. It's not me hugging you. I don't have to hug you to show you I love you. I hug you by telling you, look, man, you got to stop. You got to put that pork down, man. Quit eating it, man. That stuff out there, Most High will put you to death behind that. When Yahweh Shai comes back, man, as it is written inside the Bible. But your pastor will never bring it out because they eat it. They eat lobster tails and everything else, man. They do all of that stuff, man. But I'm never going to 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 5. I'm telling you, man. This is love. See, a lot of people, y'all done got so weak that y'all don't like the way people talk. You know what I'm saying? Forgetting Christ was austere, man. Forget Paul spoke in a very rude way. You understand? But y'all done got so weak, man. Y'all can't understand that. But it says, man, before I say this, though, this is for people who say they're Gentiles. When you say you're a Gentile, you better say you don't know the Father. That's why Paul was talking to the Gentiles because they didn't know the Father. He had to get them adopted back in through the death of Hamashiach Yahweh. But it says, not in the lust of conscience, even as the Gentiles which know not God. The Gentiles do not know the Father, man. Why they don't know the Father? Because, man, what the Father tell you, he who keeps my commandments. Well, he actually says, if he who say he knows me and keepeth not my commandments is a lie, and the truth is not in him. So in order to know the Father, you got to keep his commandments. See, the Gentile Israelites wasn't keeping the commandments. The other nation Gentiles was never given commandments. Point blank simple. So they can't know nor love the Father. Our Gentiles, they got the commandments, but yet they don't keep them. So they don't know nor love the Father. So that's why it says Gentiles don't know the Father. That's why Paul was saying it right there in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 5. Go read it yourself, man. If I'm never going to Isaiah 29 and 10. All right, we're going to Isaiah 29 and 10. All right. So when you say, so watch out, talking about you a Gentile, man. When I hear somebody say a Gentile, I just know, okay, you don't know the Father. But for the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and hath closed your eyes. The prophets and the rulers, means your pastors and the rulers, like anybody who's ruling today, Jesse Jackson, all them nonsense, even Martin Luther King and them, their eyes was closed, right? The seers have he covered also. So even the people who's going to listen to these people, he's covered you. He's covered your eyes also. You're blind, man. It means you can't see. And the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed. Now back when the Father was saying this, what was sealed to them, the laws. That's why we broke them all, and that's why Daniel said the curse is not being poured upon us because we was breaking all of the Father's law. Because it was like, you know, they'll read some out of Moses or whatever, and then, you know, they reject it. Just like today, what do? They reject the whole Old Testament, which is most of the Bible. They reject. Don't say only listen to New Testament. So when you would come out of Old Testament for a Christian, they perfect fine. But as soon as you come out of laws and stuff like that, that's when they because you know they hate the Father. That's why they start tripping like, oh no, man, no, that's Moses law. Man, I gotta listen. That's the Old Testament. If I can bring anything else out of the Old Testament, you're perfectly fine with it. But as soon as you bring off the laws, notice this about the Christian. You'll hear Christians say, "Oh man, don't just teach part of the book, teach the whole Bible." And they'll say, "Okay, well Leviticus, oh no, that's Leviticus, man, that's Levitical law, man. Y'all don't got." They'll get real offended by it, right? Because it's like it's sealed to them. They're like, "Why do I need to read that? I don't have to read that anymore, man. That's sealed to me. I don't no longer go by that. That's what sealed means. It's sealed, closed. I no longer have to do that anymore because Christ came and fulfilled that. A book that has been sealed. The whole Old Testament today has been sealed inside that Christian church, man. And it says, which man delivered to one that is learned, right? Saying, read this, I pray thee. And he said, I cannot, for it is sealed. So I'll tell you, hey, look, man, come on, man. Look, read Leviticus 11:7, what says the swine flu. Oh, no, man, I can't read that, man. That's sealed, man. That book is done now. That's all it's saying, but still means it's finished now. It's sealed. It's close to you now. You no longer have to go by that. You understand what I'm saying? I ain't got to read Levitical law like y'all call it Levitical, Mosaic law and all that like y'all like to say, man. It's sealed to you. Because you put him in blindness, man. And the only people who's going to get waking up is the Father's elect, man. So if you waking up to this, all praises to you. How about Shem Mashak Yahushua? Seriously. And I'm going to applaud that. Because if you're waking up to it, that means the Father's dealing with you. And he has chosen you. Because remember, what did Christ say? You did not choose me, but I chose you. We have a child together. You can't choose him. He chooses you. All thing you could do is learn and put it out there for other people that you may run into that the Father may have chose, but he's going to work through you anyways to do that. He works to me on the streets. He works to me on YouTube. Like I said, even if it's one person that watches my videos that catches it, I've done my job. Whoever that one person was, the Father was trying to give me the reach, is being reached. You know, when we go out in the streets, you know, sometimes we might reach 6 people out of, man, I don't know how many people pass. Probably, and it literally be thousands. Thousands. We'll be out there doing speech, man. It'd be thousands of people passing by. And only a couple people really get edified and turn their life back over to the Most High for real. And we don't mean the Christianity turning back over, the truth turning over. Keeping his laws and commandments with that faith. Because we all usually have faith anyways. But what we don't have is keeping his laws and understanding. We don't give up these heathen holidays where we really worshiping other gods on. We don't give up the Sunday worships and all that type of things that we shouldn't be doing anyways. You know, we don't do it. Our women still walk on just like harlots. We still lost. You got churches on every corner inside these ghettos, man, but the neighborhoods are still destroyed, man. Why? Because they don't know who they are. That's why I said my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Now, if you wake these people up to understand, like example, I'm more patient with my people now. Like, I'll come hard because that's the type of man I am. I'm a lion. Like the sign of Judah with lions. You know what I'm saying? But so I'll come tough sometime, you know, because I'm not weak. A man comes tough. The Christian church made a lot of our people weak now where they can't stand a man come to like, oh man, why you gotta talk to me like that, man? All weak and stuff, man. But I'm about to close it out with Proverbs 13:13. And it says, whoso despiseth the word shall be destroyed, but he that feareth the commandment shall be rewarded. Okay? So whoever despises this, man, you shall be destroyed, man. So if you despise the word, man, you shall be destroyed, man. It's point blank simple, point blank period, man. I'm going to keep pushing this word out here because if you like it or not, most of you not going to like it anyway because it's prophesied you're not going to like it. Well, I go and hit these streets, man. Some people literally hate me, hate the other brothers around me. Excuse me. But it's perfectly fine to us, man, because we understand it, man. Like the Father said, remember, they going to hate you, but remember, they hated me before they hate you, so it's all good to us. With that being said, I pray to say, Yahweh Bashem Mashak Yahushai, Barakatham, Man, it's time for you people to wake up, man. Come back, man, before this kingdom is finished, man. We don't know what's going to happen. It could be 10, 12 years from now. It could be 2 years from now. We have no idea. But once that World War III comes around, man, it's going to be coming close to a wrap, man. Some nuclear bombs going to be coming next, man. That's when Yahushua going to come back with the angels, man. And with that being said, man, shalom, brothers and sisters, man. Till next time, hope y'all got edified. And the Most High bless you, man. Barakathon.